Next exercise is designed to be pretty easy and fun, really. It's kind of like a do this on your own and look at some cool stuff sort of exercise. So because, I mean, this training that we're doing is only about 6 hours, and its goal is to just kind of get you familiar with some of the more frequently used Sakai tools. What we don't get to do is explore all of the other really cool tools in great detail. But it is worth it for us to at least take a look at some of the other tools that might exist within a course site in Sakai. So if you want to toggle back over to the GoToMeeting screen and watch me, that's fine. I'm going to talk through what I'm doing. So if you would like to go to mySakai and log into your own course and do what I'm doing. So as an instructor, you really get to own your course, which means you get to choose which tools you're going to make available to your users in your course and which tools you're not going to make available to your users in your course. Now, because we created this course from a template, we all pretty much have the same stuff here over on the left-hand side of the screen. But if you want to take a look and see some of the other tools that you might be able to add to your course, click on the Site Editor tool, and then select this Edit Tools function up at the top of the screen. So that's going to display a list of all of the tools that are available to course sites, and you can add and remove tools as you desire. Now, this particular exercise says, peruse collaboration tools. Most of the additional tools that we did not choose to put into your course site right away are collaboration tools, but there's some other tools as well. So I'm just going to kind of go over a couple of them, just at least conceptually. I won't do demos, but I'll just kind of talk about them. So there are actually two blogging tools. There's a Blogger and a Blogs. so these are two different tools, and you could use one or the other or both. But basically these tools are designed to allow individual users within a course to create a blog within that course, and other users within your course will be allowed to look at everybody else's blog and comment on that blog. Now, some people might say, well, what the heck is the difference between this and a discussion forum, for example? And the real difference is that the user owns his or her own individual blog, and other people are allowed to comment on that user's individual blog, whereas a discussion forum is kind of a sort of collaborative sort of event that all users can contribute to and build and so forth. So there's a Blogger tool and a Blogs tool. You're welcome to try those out at some point. I'm pretty sure we all got to experience some time in the chat room yesterday. That was fun. We all went into yesterday the 2011 Winter Institute course, and we played in the chat room for just a couple of minutes. And so if you'd like to add a chat room to your course, of course, you're more than welcome to do so. There's a Dropbox tool that allows for private file sharing between instructor and each individual student. It looks kind of like the resources tool. But for those of you who are currently using Blackboard, this Dropbox here is not like the Blackboard Dropbox. This Dropbox in Sakai is not integrated with the gradebook at all. In fact, in Sakai, your assignments tool is your Dropbox. So just keep that in mind if you're considering using Dropbox. There's an email archive tool that basically allows you to use Sakai and your course site as kind of like a listserv, so you can email blast everybody in your course. There's a feedback tool that allows you to provide additional feedback to each individual student through a spreadsheet. Now, there are many other ways to provide feedback to your students, right? There's like 5 different communication tools, and there's the gradebook, and there's tests and quizzes and assignments and forums, and all of those tools have feedback components. But if you'd like to provide extra feedback, you can use the feedback tool. There's a lessons tool that we briefly touched on yesterday. The instruction on the lessons tool is not part of our agenda for yesterday or today, but that is a tool that you can use to sequence learning materials in modules or units or by week and so forth. The live virtual classroom tool is an integration between Sakai and Illuminate. The Mail tool is yet another communication tool that allows users to send email to each other from Sakai. There's a Media Gallery tool, and this is our integration with Kaltura, actually. So in order to actually use the Media Gallery tool, you need to have an account with Kaltura. There's a Messages tool. It's another collaboration tool. The News tool is an RSS, basically an RSS aggregator, and it'll display news from any other news source, and it'll render like right in Sakai. So that's kind of neat. I think we looked at podcasts yesterday. There's a polls tool. This is pretty easy to use and fairly simple. So if you like having your students take polls, you should add that to your class. We went over resources yesterday. I think we briefly saw the roster yesterday. That's a tool that allows you to view all of the other participants in your site, including their pictures. Let's see, more collaboration tools. The Sections tool is a tool that allows allows instructors to place students into sections within the course. It's kind of like groups. It's pretty much the same as groups, only it's called sections and there are more rules associated with it. Also, for those of you who are fairly technical, Sakai can be integrated with your student information system, and if you have multiple sections or rosters of students who are all part of the same sort of larger course, you can split students up into sections within a course that way and assign teaching assistants to those sections. And I think lastly, well, actually I should talk about the Web Content tool. The Web Content tool is a very basic inline frame tool. What that means is that you can essentially put any other website that exists outside of Sakai into Sakai as a Sakai tool. Lastly, there's a wiki tool, and that provides some collaboration space for your users. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to kind of add some tools to your site and kind of play around with some of those tools. Again, this is designed to be sort of an easier and more fun exercise, and there is less structure to this exercise. So if you play with some tools and you decide that you're ready to move on, please let us know by raising your hand. Otherwise, we're gonna sit back and take some questions. And we're on slide 22, by the way, for those of you who are following along on the PowerPoint. John, just let me know whenever you're ready to ask questions, okay?
Sure thing, Kara. It's up to date right now.
Good. How are your hands? They don't hurt yet?
I'm cracking knuckles along the way here.
Okay.
Kara, a question coming up. I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask you anyways. Can I transfer all content from a previous semester to my current class without having to redo everything?
Yeah, of course. So that's a function of the import from site tool. So if you go to the site editor and select this import from site function up at the top, that will allow you to either merge or replace your content that currently exists in the site, which presumably right now is blank because you have all of your stuff in the other site. So you can merge or replace and pull content from old site into new.
Is web content the only way to add a link to an outside URL? And if so, do you have to have repeated entries of web content for each and every link?
Oh no, I mean you can actually create links to external URLs and resources, and so I would actually recommend using resources if you have many URLs that people need to be using. So if you create like a folder, and I'm demonstrating this right now, by the way, on GoToMeeting, so if you want to watch, you're welcome to. But you could create a folder, for those links, and then just build those links right into the folder, and you can, add many if you'd like.
Thanks, Kara. There is one user that's having a little issue with the RSS aggregator.
Okay.
Wondering what type of website you put in there for the newsfeed. Apparently this person's having some problems getting their RSS aggregator to work on their end.
Sure. So the URL that you put into the news tool absolutely must be like a news feed URL that's designed to work in an RSS aggregator. So if you, if you just put any old website into the news field, it's not going to work. So what I would recommend is just going to like Google or something like that, and searching RSS and maybe some topic that you're interested in. I don't know. Let's see if there's any sort of RSS feeds on customer service. Probably not. It's probably a very bad example, but well, here we go. So you basically get a special sort of URL for that news tool. We'll just see if I can grab this one. There we go. So that's an RSS feed. That's something that I can type into my news tool. And type in my news URL here, and then that should appear. So again, it has to be a special type of URL. It can't just be any URL.